You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to, watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is the last day of the month, Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. Well, podcasters, content providers, website hosts, all of these things, YouTubers, often you're putting out amazing content, amazing shows, and yet they don't catch on. They can't catch traction. What can you do about this? How do you get the word out there? Well, obviously, SEO and a lot of other online digital marketing techniques, it's what you need to look at. And we've got an expert on here with you today. His name is Kris Reid. You find him at Ardor, ARDOR, SEO.com. And Kris, you've been representing many podcast hosts, many other websites. You've been doing this for over a decade now. Tell me this, what have you learned about marketing during that time, succinctly, in 10 words or less?
Yeah, I mean, riches are in the niches. I really believe in that. Like finding your perfect customer avatar, and the better you can speak to them, it's there's an old saying that if you charge twice as much, you only need half as many customers. And it's so true. The better you can serve a smaller group of customers, then the easier it is to market to them, easier it is to sell to them, and the easier it is to, make money.
So it's all in the market, it's all in the niche, and that's what podcasting and other new media is so powerful, because you can do that. In my book, Viral Podcasting, I said, 2 markets. I could have 5 million millennials who are living in their parents' basements, their attics, their garages, or I could get 100 to 200 people who own their own Gulfstream aircraft. I'll opt for that 100 to 200 Gulfstream GS owners over millions of millennials who are basically broke and can't pay the interest on their student loans any day of the week. So when you look at niches, how do you identify them?
Yeah, very much exactly what you say. The bigger the niche, the more people spend in it, the better. I mean, we work a lot in real estate, and I love it because it's super valuable. You work with a realtor, they make a deal, they're getting paid $9,000, $30,000 depending on the market. So you don't have to provide them a lot of customers for them to be making great money. Where if you're working in a e-commerce website where they're selling widgets for $5, you need to sell a hell of a lot of widgets to make any money. It just gets so much harder. Where if you're selling private jets, that person's doing pretty well, and they're not so shy on spending money. So it's the more valuable the niche, but it also gets tricky with that too, because generally the more valuable a niche, the more people are going after it. But thankfully in real estate, most people don't know what they're doing. So that's why we love it so much.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting thing. So you look for higher dollar niches because like Willie Sutton supposedly never said, he was a famous bank robber in the States during the Depression. Why do you rob banks, Willie? And he said, that's because where the money's at. And that's what you have to look at your niche. So one thing, like, people think, all right, well, we're marketing to guys who own aircraft. So you know what? We got to sell them something, some accessory for their GS5. And that's kind of the wrong way to look at it, because once you identify your niche, you got to look at the entire segment of the niche, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. You see what these people, how you can add value to their life is really what you're looking at, and that's what we try and do. I mean, we work with business owners that want to be growing their business, and we make it easy for them. When I usually show people all of the complexity of digital marketing, I mean, it's bloody hard. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. their eyes glaze over and they're like, holy crap, do I have to do this? And they're like, no, man, we're going to handle everything for you. And that's when they start relaxing. I'm fantastic. And if you can tell someone, hey, you give me 50 grand and I'll make you 5 million, it makes it a pretty easy sale.
Yeah. So return on investment, because obviously when you are spending money on digital marketing, you got to get a return. And what's your rule of thumb for that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why any company does any other form of marketing other than digital marketing. TV ads, radio ads, newspaper ads. Oh, holy crap, they're expensive. And how do you measure results? Really, really poorly. Where digital marketing, no matter what form of it, if it's Facebook ads or YouTube ads or Google ads or SEO, it's all super measurable. And so you can really see your return. One benefit of SEO over all the other forms of marketing is that it's compounding. The other paid ads are good because you can turn them on and it's instant gratification, and it's very scalable in that way that you turn it on and you get paid. You can turn off the words that aren't working and you can scale up the ones that do. But you don't own that market. Google or Facebook, they will sell that ad space to whoever wants to give them more money. You don't control it. And, so if someone with bigger pockets comes along, they can take that space away from you. The beauty of SEO is it does take time to work. You're building up a brand, but no one can take that away from you instantly. It's going you're building up security, but the work that you did, this month, you get paid next month, the next year, and the year after that. It's snowballing. With paid ads, as soon as you stop spending, you stop getting. SEO, you just keep getting paid on it. It's like a freight train. It takes a lot of effort to get it moving, but man, once it's moving, it just keeps on carrying on and on and on.
Okay, so when we're talking about SEO, do you go strictly for Google still, and that's it, and forget about all the others?
Yeah, I mean, does anyone use Bing? I mean, in other countries like Russia, there's Yandex, but we work in the English-speaking market, and Google's all you need to know about.
So that's it. But so they've really got a stranglehold on everything, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and they provide the best search results. That's why everyone uses them. Bing, Microsoft try and do sneaky things to get you to use Bing, through their Windows operating system. But people use Google because it provides better search results. And people always say, SEO, Google's always changing the goalposts. And it's like, they're not. They're looking for great search results. They're trying to understand what the hell the user search intent is. What is that person actually looking for? And then give them the best answer. That's all they're trying to do. And they're getting better and better and better at it. Google has an army of software engineers, and that's what they're constantly working on, trying to filter the internet. The internet's really big, so it's pretty hard to filter the whole thing and to, organize it so that they can bring back good search results. So if you tick all the boxes that Google's looking for, a fast loading website that, is credible and provides trustworthy, useful information, then it's going to keep rewarding you with great traffic, which is exactly what someone's searching for. And that's another advantage of SEO over paid ads. Facebook ads, people don't go to Facebook to check out your ads. They go there to, talk to their friends and hang out. But when someone's looking for a service, they go to Google. They're sitting there looking for exactly what you do. A really good example of that, a few months ago, I was sitting out having a coffee at a cafe, playing around with Facebook, and I saw this ad for copywriting. And I love copywriting. I clicked on the ad. I thought, yeah, this is great. And, it was some little course, it was $7 or whatever. I didn't have my credit card with me. I couldn't buy it. So that guy paid for the ad and I didn't buy the product because I was not in a position where I could. And so that's often what happens with Facebook is the intent is not there because the person wasn't looking for your product. You interrupted them from whatever they were doing and distracted them, got to your website, but they're not really there looking for that. Where if someone is gone to, sitting at their desktop and they're Googling, a copywriting course, they're ready to buy. And so the buying intent is just so much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So obviously, though, for SEO to keep your name up in the search results, it's a continual effort, isn't it?
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Doré Copper Mining is a premier, near-term, high-grade copper and gold redevelopment opportunity with tremendous exploration potential only 14 kilometers from the town of Chibougamau in mine-friendly Quebec. Doré Copper is debt-free and owns a 2,700 ton per day mill with an 8 million ton tailings facility ready to be used. There is already power to site and it is accessible by paved highway and rail. Doré Copper aims to produce a profitable hub-and-spoke operation of over 100,000 gold equivalent ounces per year or over 60 million pounds of copper equivalent by 2024. Because of the existing infrastructure and location, a low capex is anticipated to recommence production. Doré Copper trades under DCMC in Toronto and under DRCMF on the OTC. To learn more, go to dorecopper.com. That's dorecopper.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network. The information you need to thrive. Now more than ever.
Not so much. I mean, once you rank, you rank. It doesn't just go away overnight. But why would you stop? You want to just keep on going, keep building that brand and keep building that momentum. Really, the secret of how you rank in Google, most people have known this for a long time, is backlinks. You need links from other websites to your website. That's how Google trusts you. Google hates new websites because anyone can write any crap they want on the internet. They want trusted brands. And they do that by who's linking to you, because they can't trust implicitly what you say. They have to trust what other people are saying. And so the more links that you have coming back to your website builds up your domain authority. And the bigger your domain authority, the easier you can rank for anything. So, we use a lot of SEO tools. And so it looks at the different keywords people are searching for and looks at keyword difficulty. So based on how big your domain authority is the sort of keywords that you should rank for. So generally, keywords that have 100 or 200 searches a month, they're usually, keyword difficulty under 20. And so any website can really go for those keywords. But after a year or two, when you've had a good SEO campaign, your domain authority and your trust is going to be up much higher. And so you can go after keywords that have, 1,000, 2,000 searches a month. And then, year 3 and 4, when you've got a really, really strong domain authority, now you can go after keywords that have 10,000, 20,000 searches a month. Just yesterday, I was looking at a report from one of our clients. They've been with us about 2 years. When they started with us, they had about 40 or 50 visitors a month, very, very little. In about 9 months, we got them to around 5,000 visitors a month. So that trajectory has, from 50 visitors a month to 5,000 over a 9-month period. But most of those were for very little keywords, searches that had 100 searches a month because they didn't have any trust. But now they're moving forward. Last month, they got around 10,000 visitors a month. That was the report I was looking at. And now they're ranking for keywords that do have, tens and 20,000 searches a month. So the traffic's about to explode because they have that trust. You've got that snowball growing and the momentum. And that's how you need to look at SEO. You need to look at what can I rank for now that's going to get me some money? And then what are my long-term goals to go after those giant keywords? Because it's awesome ranking for a really big keyword with massive search volume. But you also need to think about the search intent. What is that person looking for? A good example is the keyword investing.
Yeah.
Got to be 1 million searches a month for the keyword investing. But what the hell is someone searching for when they're searching for investing? Even if you were number one, it's unlikely that it's going to convert you to a client. We work with a lot of people at the multifamily space, and they're generally looking for, people that have $50,000 to invest in one of their syndications. And so a way better keyword would be, how to invest $50,000. The search volume is going to be a lot less than, just investing, but you can be pretty damn sure that someone that's searching how to invest $50,000 has 50 grand that they're ready to invest. The intent there is so much better. So really, you want to find keywords that have buyer intent or action intent, where someone's going to take action, where it's not an informational keyword, where they're actually going to give you money. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, increasing your revenue. Most web designers, they absolutely suck because they don't understand marketing at all. They'll, charge you 50 grand or, 20 grand if you get a cheap one and build your website that generates you no money at all. Most websites don't make any money because they don't rank for anything. It's because what most web designers don't understand marketing. And so they just taking people's money, if you ask me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that. So when you're backlinking, how many backlinks do you try to get for a site on average?
Yeah, so it's not as simple as that. It's really, backlinks are critical. In fact, let me read an article title for you. So there's this tool called Ahrefs, which is the go-to tool for any SEO, and they do fabulous articles. And they did an article a while back, and the title of it is 90.63%. So over 90% of content gets zero traffic from Google. Like, that's a pretty big claim, right? Nearly 91% of content. These guys analyzed 1 billion pieces of content, and they found only 0.21% of content gets over 1,000 visitors a month. 0.21. And yes, the number one reason that your content gets no traffic from Google is it doesn't have any backlinks. So backlinks are critical, and the bigger they are, the better. But the more niche relevant they are, the even better. It really depends on what sort of keywords that you're going for. So for instance, we've got a client that is a car wash in Denver. And one of the beauties of digital marketing is we get to see the inside of people's businesses. And man, you wouldn't believe how much money a car wash can make. It's fabulous.
The money machine.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Oh yeah, it's 7 figures, a good one in a good location with a higher income crowd. So you can get more. You get $20 a wash. You can make a couple $1 million a year there. Exactly.
And so he's not looking for keywords like car wash US wide. He only wants Denver keywords, and in the south side of Denver where he is. He doesn't even care about most of Denver. He's only looking for very localized keywords, which are really easy to rank for one. And so what are the backlinks that are good for him? Well, his car wash is on a street that's full of other automotive services, mechanics and whatnot. And so we worked with those guys to give them free content for their website and get them to link to him. They're not powerful backlinks. They're just little tiny websites, but they're super niche relevant, because who's going to know more about the south side of Denver than another automotive business that is on your street? So those sort of backlinks are really, really important. Same as if you're working in real estate, you want more real estate backlinks. It's really good if you could get something from Bigger Pockets or one of the biggest websites in the world. There's no really right or wrong or hard, fast rule of what backlinks you should get, but focus on the niche, the more niche relevant, because that's what Google's going to pick up and trust, because they're like, well, who knows more about being a lawyer than other law sites? So if you get backlinks in your niche, that's going to help you rank.
Yeah, it's funny because I was checking my site. I think I had like 46,000 backlinks. But I've been at this for, 10 years. So it sounds good on the surface, not that great. So we're trying to up it now, like through strategies like you were talking with, because that's going to get your authoritative, what's it called?
It builds up your domain authority.
Yeah. So, but it's definitely a process. How much should somebody spend to do all this, Kris?
Well, it depends on your return, right? If you're spending 50 grand and making 5 million, then up it to 100 grand, make 10 million. There's no limit where you can spend. The internet is so much bigger than our human brains can comprehend. It's when I look at keyword search volume, it's like, holy cow, there's a lot of people in the world. Like we really can't comprehend it. But just to finish up on how important domain authority is, your friend and mine, John Lee Dumas from Entrepreneurs on Fire, when we first looked at his website, he's been podcasting for a very long time and making a real lot of content. And a lot of his content was called what's known as thin content. Google doesn't trust it because it doesn't have enough words on the page. Content is a really easy metric for Google to look at to see the quality of a website. Mm-hmm. And so what we did, so domain authority works like a cake. the more pages you have, the more slices of that cake. And so say he had 1,000 pages on his website, we de-indexed most of them, meaning, hey, Google, we don't need these in your index. You can just remove them because they weren't ranking for anything and not generating any traffic anyway. Yeah. And so rather than having 1,000 pages, now he's moved down to only having 100 pages. And so each one of those pages gets 10 times the amount of page authority now and helps them rank a lot better because Google doesn't have to spend all of its time. So based on your domain authority is how much crawl budget Google assigns to your site. So it goes, okay, you've got a domain authority of 50. I'm going to spend X amount of CPU cycles looking at your website. And when you reduce the amount of pages that has to crawl, then it spends more time analyzing those pages and gives more rank potential to them. So more is not always good in terms of content.
Yeah, so it's quality, not quantity necessarily, huh?
And that's the same with backlinks. It's the same with keywords. I mean, like how much traffic do you want to your website? Who really gives a crap? It's how many leads you generate and how many customers pop out the other end. Like when we're working with a multifamily company, generally they're after accredited investors. Because if they get one investor investing $500,000, well, that's worth a hell of a lot more than guys that are investing $50,000. It's much easier to work with one guy than it is, 10 guys investing $50,000. So we want to not only focus on what pages are generating leads, which pages are generating the right investors, and that's what you need to look at. Because, especially if you've got a website that's, bringing you 10 or 20,000 visitors a month, it's going to generate you a lot of leads. You don't have time to be dealing. Most people don't have a sales team that can deal with 2,000 leads a month. So you need to, use some automation to filter out the crap. How do you make sure that you're only speaking to the best people, your ideal customer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Hey, if people want to find out more about what you're doing, Kris, they want to connect with you on the web, link to you, how do you do that?
Yeah, sure. So you can go to Google and type in the coolest guy in SEO. And, if you don't see my pretty face, then Google is broken. But also got a free offer for people. So if they go to ardorseo.com, ARDOR means to do something with a fiery passion, /content, we'll give you some free content for your website. So we will do some keyword research for you, find out a keyword that's relevant for your website that you can actually rank for based on how big your domain authority is what sort of keyword we'll target. We'll write the content, we'll post the content, we'll set up the internal linking, metadata, SEO optimize it to show you, how SEO works and, give you a demonstration firsthand on your website. So go to ardorseo.com, put in your details and get some free content.
Okay, just repeat that again.
ardorseo.com/content.
All right, ardorseo.com/content. Sounds great. We will do it right now. You'll see the link in the show notes to this interview on Financial Survival Network. Kris, it was definitely worth waiting up for you tonight. I really appreciate you coming on. And hey, you have the day ahead of you. You're already on Tuesday. We're just finishing up Monday here. So, hey, we'll definitely talk to you again. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Kerry.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.